Hello. Hi. Can someone confirm if I'm audible? Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Aditya.
Yes, I can hear you at least.
Perfect. Morning, everyone. Of course, morning and evening. My name is Ram. So I will be giving you a high-level demo about Salesforce today. Yeah, before we start the demo, I'll just introduce myself. So I'm Ram. So I'm working in Salesforce for the past almost 14 years in Salesforce, only in Salesforce. Started my career in Salesforce itself. Worked on multiple products, but I'll show you what are the different products that you'll have in Salesforce, like sales, service, marketing, CPQ. Uh, of course, when it comes to development, you will have integrations, architectures, multiple things. So I have more or less touched based on most of the areas of Salesforce and deployed around 70 odd projects from end to end and deployed and delivered. And coming to trainings, it's been 8 years or 9 years I've been into training, not more than that. But yep, trained more than 3,000 people in Salesforce itself. Did it. So this is about me. And today, what are we going to discuss? A very high level introduction of Salesforce, like what is Salesforce, how's the market, and maybe the course content that we are going to discuss, like what are the different courses that, what features that we are going to discuss in the upcoming sessions if you decided to continue, and what kind of certifications you can concentrate using these trainings. And of course, we will discuss about the job market of Salesforce as well. And yeah, anything apart from this, if you're expecting, please do let me know. Anything about the codes or anything about the technology rather than just speaking about the codes, right? And apart from that, you can stop me anytime. It's not required that you have to stay calm till the end of the session and start shooting your questions. I'm not sure whether we really have the time at the end or not. So please do stop me whenever you feel like okay, you are not comfortable with the sessions. Yeah. And of course, is there anyone who already aware of Salesforce, working on Salesforce? Anyone? Sorry. Yeah, Sai Kumar, you're saying something.
Yeah, nothing. I just joined right now. Sorry
Oh,
for that.
oh. Okay. Let me start sharing my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Anyone with having some experience in the IT industry, or all of you are pretty much new?
We don't know any experience, but we just did graduate in masters. That's it. We don't have any experience on it.
Okay. So I'm just asking you to consider some examples of the any of the technologies that you're working in during the course of this time. Yeah, that's the only reason. Now, okay. Who have seen the screen earlier? Actually, no explanations needed for the screen. But yeah, anyone can speak about this. I do know this is a demo session, but I just want to make it a bit interactive. so that it'll be easier for everyone. Okay. It speaks about the industrial revolutions, right? Where we started with steam, electricity, computing, and of course now we are in intelligence, right? So what I saw, like most of the people, they think that okay, we are in the world of computers. Not actually, we are in the world of intelligence, right? Because in the third industrial revolution, when you have started using computers, right? So where if you want the system to do something, you have to write n number of lines of code, right? Where it can understand the logic that you have written, so that it will show you some output, the response, right? But these days, if you observe, you can start speaking with the gadgets that you are using with your native languages, right? Or I can ask my Siri to make a call to my mom, or I can ask Alexa to play a recent news, right? Or I can drive a car without a person, right? I can control a car with a remote, right? All these things can be done using artificial intelligence. Of course, most of the technologies that are there in the world now are more or less into AI, right? Of course, even if that includes Salesforce as well. Now, why are we discussing about this? Because yes, just to stress upon, Salesforce is more into AI these days. Yeah? And uh, before we go to this slide, right? Why do we need an application? Anyone? Why should I need a software application? Which includes your Excel sheet also. And why do I need a tool or an application? Anyone?
For ease of work, for
Perfect.
faster processing,
Super.
for a more accuracy.
Absolutely. Great. So these are the answers that we will get for sure from any end user, right? For example, I want to speak my mother, so I'll use my phone. In the olden days, like you either have to write a letter or you have to go there physically to your parents to speak with them. And these days, you can use a lot of gadgets. Right? Now, what if the same question asked to a person who developed the application? So, because for every question, generally you'll have two different answers, right? Even if it is positive. One is customer says, yes, I'm happy to use this application because it makes my life more easier. If I go to the vendor or a person who is building the application, they'll say, yes, this feeds my family. This generates revenue to my organization, right? So how that revenue being generated by building this application? How this application is being built? First of all, you should have an idea, like you should see a problem, right? Saying that, okay, let's say Suchit, he wants to make a call. There's no phone now, right? Like he or she is going directly to the person whom he wants to speak, and he's doing the communication. I have realized it. I've seen that a lot of people, like they need something for communication. That's where I thought, like, okay, why can't I launch a phone? That's the idea that I had, and then they'll start building this, right? So similarly, like whenever we want to build an application, first of all, you should have a problem statement, right? Using the problem statement, you will generate multiple ideas, not just one or two, right? You will have multiple ideas, and you will finalize one of them, and then you'll start building your tool or application or solution. Now, as we are speaking about IT, right, we'll discuss about some IT application. But if you want to build a solution with your idea in IT, so it's not that I can do it on the go, right? And it's a lot of setup, right? If you go to 1900s, right, before 2000 and all, where you don't have cloud. It's all legacy. So if there is any 80s or 90s kids in this in the session, you'll easily understand. Like where if you have spoken with your cousins as elder cousins in your home during 90s and 2000s, they used to say, yes, we are working on an application. You're asking the question now, or 6 months later, or 1 year later, they'll keep on saying that, yes, we are working on that. We are yet to do this development. We are setting up some infrastructure to do the development. What is that infrastructure? To build an idea, you need a space to store. So I have to set up the server, right? And then install some softwares in my machine so that I can start using that particular language. It could be Java, especially your SAP, which needs a minimum of 500 GB of installation space. I have to define my user access, security systems, everything. Then I have to think about building the application, whether it is on the machine, whether it responds on the laptop or mobile, that is later. So before the build starts, you have to complete this entire infrastructure, and this itself will take around 1 year, 6 months to 1 year, right? So that is what is the issue with your legacy plan. Why? Because during the span of time, anything can happen. The business will say, no, no, yeah, I don't want this application. Or they might reduce the funds. Or maybe something else might have come into the market already. So, bearing all these losses, keeping this in mind, you have to start doing this. That is where we have something called cloud computing. Because you have multiple issues. After building the application, when you speak about a best example is your server itself, right? So when you speak about server, so here what will happen is, um, how do I say? Uh, For example, let's say I'll think that okay, there is an app. Yeah, these days, yeah, you are booking your cabs using applications, right? Like Uber, Ola, whatever, right? Especially in India, we do have lot many applications. Now, earlier it's like everyone have to go to the road or make a call to a particular cab driver whom I know, check whether he is available or not. Based on his availability, I have to plan my trip. So someone have noticed this. He thought like, okay, why can't I build something so that I can connect all these customers to the cab drivers? I'm doing nothing here. I'm syncing the Google Map with the GPS and the customer's GPS, defining a platform so that they can simply book the cab whenever they require. Idea is good. It went well because no one had this idea. So application was built, people started using. But initially, when I'm building this application, as I have to set up this infrastructure, I thought, okay, let me try with maybe 100 people. When I say 100 people, the server, because I have to buy a server, right? So server will have a capacity, number of users it can handle at a particular time. So that's where I thought like, okay, let me buy a server which can handle 100 users. It went well. So people started using my application. As it is the first of its kind, a lot of people wanted to use this. But the problem is the amount of people that the server can handle is only 100. But the number is going beyond and above. So what should I do? I can't say that, no, no, Suchit, please stop using this application because Aditya is using it. We'll do it later. No, right? If I'm saying that, then definitely Suchit won't come to me. So what I'll do, I have to increase the capacity, which is again a manual effort. Of course, I have to invest again. Yes, I will get the profits in future, but I have to do an investment now. Now, yes, looking at the demand, I have increased the server size. By there are multiple ways, like I can do a serialization or I can replace it with a bigger server with huge capacity and all. So I kept on doing it as the numbers of users are keep growing. Now I have a competitor, Aditya, who came up with a similar idea, but with better offers, better user interface, everything. So people started reducing the number of users using my application got reduced. Now, same maintenance, same investment, everything is same. but the return of investment is lesser these days. Reason? I have a competitor in the market. Or maybe my application is not that well defined. That could be any reason, right? But it doesn't mean that, okay, as number of users are less, I will reduce the services. That doesn't affect my business, right? That doesn't make even sense, right? I should still bear my losses. And especially as it is my personal infra, so there is high chances that it can be breached anytime. Okay, in this, what you will breach? What if I gather all your customers' data and your drivers' data? I can define something else, right? So to avoid those errors, we have something called cloud computing. Same concept, same server, same application, same users, same business providers. But here, server will be provided by a service provider. The space of the server will be provided by a service provider, right? So here what will happen? You will have a service provider. They'll say, boss, you need a space. I will give you the space. You need the number of users. I will give you the users details. You start building your application, create your users, start using it. Simple. You want to increase the number? I'll increase it. You want to decrease the number? I will decrease it immediately. But you have to pay me a little amount because I'm providing you the service. Yeah? Entire security also will be taken care by the service where in you are going with cloud computing. In cloud, again, we have three different services. What are they? Infrastructure, platform, and software. Infrastructure is like your Amazon Web Services, right? So where in which they'll say, okay, I'll come halfway down and you also come halfway up. Like I'll give you the server, give you the networking, user credentials, details, everything, virtualization. But to build the application, you need some software. You deal with your own software. If you want to integrate with maybe a payment system, you need a middleware. You deal with your own middleware. Any runtime issues, I don't care. You do it. Data management, I don't know. You manage it. I'll give you a space. That's it. This is what the service provider will do. Right? Now, rest all should be done by me who is building that application. It is, yes, good to an extent, but partially I still have to bear this. Right? The best example, Amazon Web Services. Right? Then comes your platform as a service. Here it will say, you don't have to install anything. You log into my machine, start building your application. Of course, whichever the application, whatever the data that you want, it is your own responsibility. This is where your first step of Salesforce comes in, which is one of the cheapest licenses of Salesforce, where we call it as post.com platform. That's the platform that we use in Salesforce. You have everything, like the way you log into your Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. You log in to Salesforce, you build your application, right? And now Aditya says, boss, stories are good, but I don't want to build this. I am running a big organization. Let's say uh, I'm running Tata company. I want to sell my automobiles. Simple. I'm using some standard sales process that is there in the market. I'll get the leads, convert them to my customers. I'll get the inquiries, convert them to my customers, and sell the cars, and then provide some services post selling the car, maybe car washes or maybe maintenance, all this. So there's a standard process. I don't want to build anything from scratch. Let me know if there is anything. That is where Salesforce comes up with software as a service, where it'll give you a Salesforce license with some standard applications as well. Some that are market standard, like sales, service, marketing, CPQ, multiple. And it says this is the market standard application. And if you want to use it, yes, you can use it as is, right? So you will have some standard set of applications by default. Now, Vallabh will say, yeah, this is good, but even I do run an automobile industry. Or let's say I have a vegetable store. I need Salesforce because my store is big. I will make an annual turnover of maybe 10 crore every year. Stores are big. But the point is, I won't get inquiries. People will come to my store, pick the vegetable, pay the bill, and leave. I won't provide any car service, I mean, any washing services or any, I won't give any guarantees or warranties to that vegetable. But still, I need to maintain large volumes of data now. I have some processes because if a customer is coming very regularly, because then I have to give him some better discounts. So I do need a sales process, but you are saying it's a market standard. That is what Salesforce says. Was if you want to use this market standard, you use it. If you feel like this entire process is not relevant, you can build your own. Or if you feel okay, 30% is working for me, rest 70% I have to customize, that will also be provided by Salesforce. We can customize the application according to our requirement. That's the beauty of Salesforce. Then, if you observe in either of this, you don't have to install any software. First advantage. Why? Whenever you go to my any organizations, right? Like the moment you join, you'll be getting a laptop. Now, the configuration of the laptop is always directly proportional to the technology that you're working, right? For example, best example is SAP, right? If I want to use SAP in my machine, I don't think it is possible because my laptop, I think it'll handle max of 250 GB or 300 GB of data. But to install SAP itself, I need 500 MB, sorry, 500 GB space in my laptop. Quite contrast, right? So my organization have to provide me a bigger configuration laptop, maybe 16 GB speed and maybe i9 processors with 1 TB hard disk, all this. But if I have to use Salesforce, just give me a basic laptop with a simple, a good internet connection. That is enough for me. That's the best part. Servers, why should I even think about servers? Someone else is already managing because we are paying them, right? Like for the license amount. So it's their responsibility. I'll discuss about the security also in future. Mm. So these are some of the examples of every platform that you have. And of course, if this includes your Zoom as well. Yeah. Any questions till now? Anyone? Well, is the questions too bored? Anyone? Now, when it comes to Salesforce again, right? So it has custom. We have customer 360 platform. What is customer 360? Where I can look at my customer in all the angles, all the directions. I would rather call it as a bird eye view, right? So it covers everything. I have a product wanted to sell in the market. You have sales process. And after selling it, I will provide some service. For example, for every internet connection, whenever you feel, whenever the network is not working, right? You'll raise a customer care. So, I mean, you'll call the customer care center. You'll raise a case that can be handled in Service Cloud. And let's say I want to generate leads. I want to make the inquiries. So that's where you can make use of Marketing Cloud. Then let's say I don't have anything as of now. I want to build a portal for my organization, which is similar to Amazon. I want to build sell my products. We can make use of Commerce Cloud. I can start or I feel like okay, I don't want this. I want maybe to define a leave tracking system in my organization. I can build my own application. Or I have large volumes of data where I want to do an analytics, that too with advanced features. So that's where I can go with artificial intelligence, which we call it as Einstein analytics. Or I have a raw system in a different technology. I want to connect with that so that I can extract some information. And of course, I want to transmit some information during the real time, which is nothing but an integration, right? Where we can make use of MuleSoft. Then, like the way you have your Google spreadsheets or Google documents. So I want my employees to communicate for a particular record, maybe a case on the system. I have an employee experience, which we call it as quip, right? And Salesforce, like any other technology, the best part of Salesforce is it listens to its customers, which means, let's say, when you're building an application, you feel like, okay, there is a certain stage where you are getting blocked all the time. There is a place called Salesforce Ideas where you can go there, a website where you can say that, okay, in this feature, it'll be good to have add some extra details as well. Then Salesforce will start voting system, and the more number of votes that you have on your idea, it will be coming to the position where they can start building that application. And Salesforce will do 3 releases in a year: summer, winter, and spring. During these releases, of course, they will upgrade the product, and at the same time, they'll consider the ideas. And if they feel like, okay, lot many customers are looking for the similar idea, they will consider that and build it, and they'll release it. And the relevant documents will be kept in the trailblazers document. Here is the place where you can get the entire documentation of each and every feature of Salesforce. And it's been widely used in a lot of industries, whether it is big or small. It's been there in banking industry. It's there in there are smaller industries in India, small organizations in India like Redbus. They're using Salesforce. Bigger organizations like, yeah, British Petroleum, Stanford University, right? Or Citigroup. No, I'm not speaking about Citibank. I'm speaking about Citigroup. When if you go in US, it has a big ventures like there are then it's there even in financial sector. It's there in real estate, everything, right? So Citigroup is using it. It has acquired a lot of other organizations which specifically runs on industry-based clouds like Velocity, right? So it's there in utility sector. It's there in manufacturing sectors. And when it comes to partners, like these two are little key for it. So one is partner and the other one partner community and the other one is success community. Let us say I am a developer in small organization. Generally, Salesforce won't give to the won't make everyone as partners unless until you have some list of licenses that you are buying regularly. So if I'm a random developer, or let's say consider you people. So you people are not working in Salesforce, but you want to learn Salesforce. You can be a part of success community. And when you're working on some particular feature, you got stuck somewhere. So your question can be posted in the success community, where in which you will get the answers definitely from some other developers working in the same technology, but for some other organization. Similarly, to gather the informations and to connect all the partners, they have partner community as well, where in which all the service providers like service-based industries like your Accenture, Deloitte, IBM are a part of partner community. So during the in the partner community, Salesforce will discuss about on new features where you can learn a lot of things. Right? So these are the different areas that Salesforce have covered, and these are different platforms that we use as well. Like we can use it for mobile. We have communities. We have Einstein Analytics. We do use blockchain and multiple other features as well. Yeah. Any questions in this or too much info? You're already aware of it. Hello. Am I audible? So what is the architecture that we use behind this? We'll go with multi-tenant architecture, but you're speaking about multi-tenant architecture. Why apartment? Yes, exactly. Salesforce follows the same structure as your apartment. So if you consider these are the different spaces in the same server, I can be a part of the space working for example, I'm working for Deloitte. And let's say an application of IBM can reside in this space. CTS might be next to it, and red bus might be next to it, right? What is the advantage of an apartment? Maintenance will always be less when you compare with your own home. So at your own house, let's say if you want to have a badminton court, so you have to buy a space, set everything, define everything, provide the security, everything has to be done by you, which might cost once a year, a crore. But if you go to an apartment, of course you need to buy your own flat, but post that by paying a minimum amount of maybe 5,000, 6,000 a month, you can utilize this. Of course, along with that badminton court, you might have a pool, uh, you might have multiple other features as well, along with a best security. So the same thing even Salesforce follows. But we have some restrictions in your apartment, right? Where let's say if this is my own flat, I can do anything but within this flat. As I have a flat in this apartment, I can't go to my neighbor's house and sleep, or I can't restrict everyone else to go to the pool, right? I'll have my own restriction. And even in Salesforce also, you do have the restrictions. We call them as limitations, which are governor limits. For each and every each and every feature that we are going to discuss, we will discuss about the limitations as well in future. And yes, the first image, this one, can be immediately converted into this, where in which the moment you have an idea, you don't have to set anything. Get your license, start building your application, define it to the end user. And the best part of Salesforce, it don't care whether you are building the application for mobile. Sorry, you don't have to care whether you are building the application for mobile, tab, or the laptop. Right? Any gadget will be supported. Of course, you have to do small tweaks, but it will support all the cases, which will definitely reduce the time of setting up their infrastructure. There are cases where we have built the application within a couple of weeks. I won't say days, I won't that is too much. But yeah, in 1 or 2 weeks I built the application as well. Yep. Yeah, he is the CEO of Salesforce, right? And he is the man behind a lot of many other things. And of course, the statement he always comes up with as the important point is trust. So, which we didn't discuss till now, was about security. Because someone say, okay, Ram, if everything is there in the cloud, then how do you define the security? So these days, I think from past 5, 6 years, you might have noticed that you are not able to log into your Facebook account if you are using a new gadget, right? Unless until you provide your verification code along with your password. And the code will be sent to your registered mobiles or registered mail IDs in a different post, right? It's been there in Salesforce in 2007. Forget about hacking the data. You can't even log into even if I post my credentials here, you can't even log into my system without me providing the verification code details. And of course, to extract the data, you have to provide a security token, which is a combination of 18-digit character combination, which is impossible to hack. And till date, you can post a session, you can go back and search. There is no data breach in Salesforce. It launched in 1999, and no data breach till date. Yeah, the slide is a little old, but yeah, it conveys the right information that I'm actually looking for. Is there anyone in the session who is using smartphones? Okay, wrong question, right? Is there anyone in this session who is not using smartphones? No, right. So out of every 1,000 people, of course, I would say almost 999 people are using smartphones, right? And now, if you want to communicate with others, earlier we used to use this text messages and all. These days, why text message if I can make a video call to my friend? using WhatsApp, right? If I want to transfer money to my friend, earlier I have to go to the bank, but these days everything is there at my fingertips. I don't have to go to a store to buy, let's say, some groceries. I've seen few friends who will even buy a car through online. So, what is the difference? Because you have a lot of applications that are available in your marketplace, which is your Play Store. For Android, it is Play Store, and yeah, App Store, right? You know what? So actually, it started with App Store, right? Which came up with an idea of Apple, right? By Steve Jobs. And then I won't say copied it, but Google built their own marketplace, which is Play Store, where you can build your applications, and if you feel it is relevant, you can upload it in the Play Store so that others can start using it. And you know what? The idea is belongs to this fellow, Mark Benioff. As he is a good friend of Steve Jobs, he even gave the domain appstore.com to Steve Jobs. That is where it started. And he came up with a word called App Exchange for Salesforce. Let's say if I want to be a user of App Store, if I want to install WhatsApp in my iPhone, I have to go to App Store and install it. But before I install it, it'll ask me, okay, boss, provide your credentials, right? I have to be an Apple user first. Similarly, if you want to download and start using any applications of App Exchange, you should be a user of Salesforce. Simple from that. Now, App Store users are free for them. Play Store users are free. If you have a Gmail account, you can log into Play Store, and if you have an Apple account or a Hotmail account, you can go with the App Store. So it don't care. But for Salesforce, if I want to be a Salesforce user, I have to pay some license amount to Salesforce. So they are responsible, right? Now what they'll do is, if there is any application that has been uploaded to Salesforce, you have an app exchange team where they'll verify each and every layer of that application, whether it could be user interface, whether it could be the server cost, whether it could be security. Each and everything will be cross-checked properly, and then they'll say, okay boss, now you are ready to upload your application to app store. But what could be that application? Any business idea that you are having or anything that you can process. For example, Conga Composer, right? So these are the people who will convert each and every information that you provide into a PDF format. Of course, you can write some code to convert some documentation, but Conga Composer does that in a second, and it can handle tons and tons of data. So that is my job. So if I know that Funko Composer can do my work, why should I even have a developer to or ask a developer to build the application right from scratch? Because it'll take around 6 months for me to build this and test it and deploy. Instead, I'll pay some amount to Conga team and let's start using their application. This is much better solution that I can have, right? And of course, it's been used by lots and lots of people already in the market. Like similarly, right? If I want to make a video call, I can do a WhatsApp call to you. Why should I start thinking about, okay, I want to make a video call to Aditya, I have to start building an application. Not required. Because if I start building an application, it might take a month, 6 months, 1 year, 10 years also. But if I have a well-defined application that is already available in the market, no point in doing it. This is what the mentality of any business user, right? And that is where Salesforce uses App Exchange. Either you can start using the products of App Exchange or you can build your application, which also means that it's not that you have to get a job in Salesforce. If you feel that you don't have to, you don't want to uh, uh, get a job, rather if you want to build an application and start being doing an entrepreneur, you can do that by picking up a good use case in the market, build an application, deploy it in app exchange. You don't have to run behind customers. Customers will come to you. That's what the best part of it. And I do know a lot of organizations who are running just on one single application within India. Yeah. And this is actually old sheet. I will not required actually. This is pretty old. And of course, these are the number of people who are using. Actually, the numbers are tripled, not doubled, because this the screen is little old. As it is looking very good, I just kept it, but numbers are tripled. Like around 20 million people have been using the applications, and we have at least 10K applications that are available in our exchange. Yeah. And rather than this, we'll discuss about this. Yes, as I said, it started in 99, and if you see, there are no spikes in it. I mean, there are no drawbacks. And these are the list of organizations that Salesforce have acquired. So, which means when it looks in, if there is a competitor in the market, there are two ways to look at it. Compete with them by building your own tool, or check if you can collaborate and work together, build a better tool. Right? That's what Salesforce does. So it acquires and upgrade them, connect with them into the Salesforce, start building it. That is where it has now become 35 billion. It is now we are not in 24. Sorry, we are in 24, right? Like last year itself, it has gone to 35 billion. Right? But Ram, why these two sheets are important? For me, yes, it is important. Reason is if you are trying to switch a technology, what or why are you learning Salesforce? A simple question. Any answers? What's the reason behind learning Salesforce? Anyone? You must have an answer. I don't think you were simply sitting just to spend some time on the weekend, right? So if you are spending your valuable time on this, so anyone, you're simply joining. Okay. So if someone asks me, okay, if I let's say these days I'm working on some AI projects, not at the basic level. I'm working on some generative AIs. So if anyone asks me, okay, why generative AIs on Salesforce again, I'll say that's the future of Salesforce. Or I would say that is the future in the market. If I ask you to learn maybe a C sharp, which is one of the legacy technologies, almost scrapped, will you learn? No. If I say, okay, be a C++ developer, out of every 100 people, 90 people are already aware, and we have only 10 jobs in the market, will you learn? If I say, hey, learn Salesforce, or maybe I don't want to promote Salesforce too much, learn this XYZ technology where you have good growth in the market. That is where you'll think, yes, that is where I have to work. Why? So that I'll have a better future. So here, okay, how does it related to Salesforce growth scale here? If Salesforce is growing, the people working on that technology will also grow, obviously, right? I won't simply make my profits without having a good customers, right? If there are no customers, I won't be able to make anything. So if I'm able to make profits, which means a lot of customers are coming to me. If a lot of customers are coming, a lot of demands will generate, a lot of requirements will come. That is where it will generate a lot of requirements of developers. That's where it is going, right? So that's one reason to keep this sheet. Yeah. Now, before we go to the course content, any questions? Anyone?
No.
So this demo is for two people. One is admin and the other one is developers. The definition of admin in Salesforce is a little different when you compare with definition of uh, admin in any other technology. Yeah. Now, what you mean by an admin in sales? Admin is not a person who will work with the security systems or uh, creating users, disabling users. He is a person who can define the application. He is the person who can automate the business process. He is a person who can write the validation, everything. End-to-end application can be defined by an administrator in Salesforce. It is possible. I'm not saying he is the only person, but it is possible. And these are the different concepts that we are going to learn. So tomorrow, maybe the next session, we'll discuss about generating an environment for your practice. Post that, we'll discuss about some standard applications, understand the data types, relations, different rules that we have on the records. And then we'll discuss about the user interface. Then we'll discuss about the security, where you have concepts like profiles, permission sets, role sharing settings. And then we'll discuss about the automation rules like flows, approval process, process builders. Then we'll discuss about some standard processes like sales and service. Then bulk data loading and reporting. Finally, we'll end up the administration report. That's where post the sessions you will be able to get certified. And the estimated hours is around 20. Generally, it goes beyond. Then we'll go with development. Okay. By the way, what are the prerequisites? Nothing. You should be aware of some basic knowledge of Salesforce. So Excel sheets, good enough. If you know how to open an Excel sheet, how to do maybe a summation of 3, 4 values or something, that's enough. Coming to the development, yes, there are some prerequisites for development. Like you must have complete knowledge of admin. Why? Because if everything can be done through the administrator, if an admin can do the development, why will I go for the development? Sorry, why will I go for the development if everything can be done by administrator? There are some limitations on your admin where you won't be able to make it. To overcome those limitations, we will go with the custom UIs or custom solutions, which comes under development. So to do that, first of all, you should be aware that what are the limitations or what can be done, what cannot be done, right? That is why admin knowledge is very, very, very important. Post that, you should have some basic knowledge on object-oriented programming, right? If not, I'll give you that in the initial sessions. And then a basic knowledge on HTML, JavaScript helps you a lot. If you're already proficient in the languages, yes, it will be a cakewalk. If not, you have to spend a bit more time. Like, for example, here in admin, I won't ask you to spend more than 15 minutes a day to complete the entire course. If you are very uh, strong technical person for development, you might have to spend 15 to 30 minutes. If you don't know anything about object-oriented programming or anything, you have to spend 1 hour post session. That's it, right? And of course, even the development also needs around 20 hours. This is all about your course content. Any questions? Now,
Yeah, for the developer, like Salesforce developer thing, what are the, do we need any coding language like PL SQL or anything?
Salesforce has its own coding language, which is Apex, and queries we will use Sockle and Saucel. So we'll use them. I'll help you how to. These are all new languages, anyways, for you. So
Okay.
that will be taken care of the sessions.
So how, like if you have to compare with SQL or any other language?
Yeah, it
Uh,
is similar as SQL only, SQLs.
mhm.
But yeah, Salesforce has its own database, so for that it has its own language. Okay, it's not that tough as your SQL. These are very easy. No worry.
So do we also cover any project as part of the course?
Very quick question. Can I keep it to the last? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, actually, I forgot, but yeah, I will tell you. Anyone else?
Like I was just amazed that the time to complete both is only 40 hours if you think that way.
Yeah.
So is it like in 40 hours the course is completed, but we need to do a lot of practice to be able to clear the certification?
Admin, yes, you can do it immediately because as I don't have any prerequisites, right? Because during the session I'll be covering the interview questions, certification questions, and all, so you will be able to easily complete certification. But when it comes to development, yes, you need some practice. I would say pause the session, you take a week or 2 weeks gap, and then do it. That's what the suggestion I would make.
Okay.
And of course, it depends on the practice you are doing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Uh, will the syllabus covered in this course be sufficient for the Salesforce developer certification?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Mentioned over here, right? So, okay, for developer certification, we call it as PD1. So basically, in admin, you have two: admin and advanced admin, PD1 and PD2 for development. So I can assure that you can cover PD1 for sure, even admin for sure. But when it comes to advanced admin and PD2, you need some real-time experience, bare minimum of 6 months. So then you can target for advanced development or advanced admin certificate.
Got it.
Yeah, same syllabus. I mean, syllabus will be the same for both, whether it is PD1 or PD2 or admin or advanced admin. Point is the way the deeper questions, the levels will be little higher in advanced admin and
Yeah, with 6 months experience, I guess you'll be able to cover PD2
easy.
as well.
Yeah, not even 6 months. I think three months should be sufficient.
Gotcha.
Okay, no questions. Generally, people will have a lot of questions. What's this? Okay, I will discuss about some common questions that I have that I had seen in my previous sessions. Ram, demo is okay, but I'm not an ID person. I didn't work on any technology earlier. What should I do? So for that, Salesforce even have BAs. Salesforce does have testers. So there are a lot of roles in the market. If you are actually looking for a career in Salesforce, I'm not saying, okay, even if you don't know anything, come here, we will give you everything. That's not the thing. But if you are coming from a testing background, Salesforce have testing roles. If you are coming from BA roles, Salesforce have BA roles. So Salesforce BA has more importance than Salesforce admin. But Ram, what is the course for Salesforce tester or developer? Tester, if you want to just be as a Salesforce tester, admin is good enough. But if you want to be a Salesforce business analyst or a developer, or let's go with business analyst, you should be aware of these concepts. You should be knowing the solutions of these concepts. But the thing is, you don't have to write the code. If you're able to understand all these features, that should be good enough. Reason, you should, even if you are not doing the development, being a business analyst in Salesforce, you should be aware like what can be done, what cannot be done, right? With all these features, I'm not saying that Salesforce is the only solution that is available in the market. If I am saying that Salesforce is the only solution for any problem in the market, then I'm the most stupid person across the world. No, we do have a lot of other technologies as well. But yeah, given a chance, given a space, Salesforce can do better. That's what I would say. Right? Now, developer, you should know how to write the code as well. That's where you have to practice. Next question is yes, one of you asked projects. Generally, when you go start any course, right? So you will be given the course content, explain everything. After certain number of sessions, once every concept is covered, then we have to discuss. We'll start the project. We'll say, okay, from today, this entire week is only about the project. Day one, I'll ask you to create the objects, then relations, or maybe some automations, and I'll take the references of third session or fifth session. I'll say, okay, in the sixth session, we have written a trigger. You start writing a trigger. This is what I have to say, right? Which I'm not gonna do. We will discuss about a real-time application, or I would say I will bring a real-time use case on the day one. Not actually day one, maybe day two. Day one we'll discuss about logins and basic UIs. Day two, we will first bring a problem statement, right? A generic problem statement. I don't want to make it too complicated because I want to make sure all the features are covered, and at the same time, I want to make sure that you are able to understand. So I don't want to bring some biggest problems that are there in the world, or maybe an automobile industry details and all. We'll take a simple examples like maybe a banking sectors, or maybe booking systems like Make My Trip or something, or maybe educational institutions like maybe we can actually I'm working on some application in career IT. I mean for career IT, not in career IT. Like say if career IT wants to build their solution in Salesforce, how do we do such things? We will take one use case and we'll start when we are discussing about these features. We will see how do we connect these into this solution and start building it so that by end of the session, whether it is development or admin, you will have a full-fledged application built in your Salesforce logins with, of course, if you are spending time on it, building, completing the assignments that I'm giving every day. Okay. Next thing is, okay, Ram, how about the certification questions and interview? So I won't have a special sessions at the end again to come up with to discuss only on certification questions or interview questions. Rather, I'll keep asking you questions every day, first 5-10 minutes. On it could be on any concept. For example, I'm saying it is 20 sessions, right? On 18th session, I might ask you the questions on first or second also. Of course, if I'm discussing, let's say if I'm discussing about profiles, I'll tell you what all the questions or what kind of scenarios you will see in future in profiles, whether it could be certification or it could be anything. But at the same time, I'll even, I'm not sure who is, yeah. But yeah, at the same time, I will keep asking you about previous sessions as well, not just on the concepts that we are discussing or we just completed on the previous session. I mean, just one day before. Rather, I'll pick any concept anytime. Yep. This will help you to crack the interviews, of course, the certifications, and you will be able to complete your project. On top of it, if you have, of course, you will get the right documents at the right time. On top of it, if you still have anything, yes, please do let me know. Any questions? Anyone?
No.
Good. Okay, so that's all I have.
Okay, then thanks, Ram. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.